Welcome to Here's How We Get There. It's the daily show filled with conversations about business and mental health in a down-to-earth style with real-world language. Now let's dive in with your co-hosts, Kenneth Shark Kinney and Trey Tucker.
All right, Shark, there are a lot of self-proclaimed experts out there, and now there's a poll that says nearly half of Americans think they could write a self-help book based on their own life experiences. The poll finds that 2,000 adults and Gen Z said 81% of them would be much more confident that they could write a book than millennials, who said 48%, and then boomers, 28%. So, with all of these experts ready to tell you how to live your life, what do you think about their confidence?
No. That's all I have to say is no. It's very interesting because, the one thing that's interesting about doing this is they don't understand the value of wisdom. I didn't either. No, nobody does. Nobody does until you get older, understand the ignorance of our youth. Tony Robbins didn't get this way because he just wanted to or thought he could. It's because he was the best. Everybody that wants to be Tony Robbins, if they're not as good as him, then they're not going to rise to the top. Also, nobody ever tells somebody that wants to do self-help, nobody ever tells them no. And social media amplifies that.
Yep.
So most people, their life is very messy. My life is very messy. I know that my own experience, I can help people, but I don't necessarily think that my life's work of advice is necessarily perfect for a self-help book. And I think having the humility to believe that a little bit, with understanding the process you go through to get a self-help book, is to help you in life achieve more. It's not just because we thought we could achieve more. And granted, everybody doesn't have to be Tony Robbins or Shaquille O'Neal or an astronaut or whatever. But you do want to see that people have gotten through a process, not just because they had the right grit and determination. What do you think?
Yeah, to me, the stats are actually inversed. People who want to give advice and they're eager to tell you what to do, they usually give the worst advice, and I don't want to hear from them. It's the people that are slow to give advice, that would rather listen, that are humble enough to think, well, I don't know that my experience is really going to offer much, but you're asking for it, so here it is. Those are the people I want to hear from. And the boomers, only 28% of them said that they could write the book, but they're the ones I want to hear from for that reason. And like you said, the life experience, if they've lived on this earth 60 plus years, they've gone through many more things. Also, the question said, a book based on your life experience. So a young person, they might have had some pretty intense experiences, but they don't have the context to see how the experiences shaped the rest of their life, the rest of their story. So it's still an incomplete idea, which means, yeah, anybody can write the book, but is a publisher going to want it? And more importantly, is the public going to buy it? So that, to me, should have been the question, because if a bunch of Gen Zers are trying to write self-help books, I don't think they're going to get many sales.
No, and it's what's sad is I know people that have been life coaches at 24. and it's hard for me to not laugh at them when I see this, and I think of the life experiences that we all go through. It's not one event or one series of events. I mean, life, there's a lot of stuff along the way you learn. You're a better counselor because you worked in corporate before and got to where you are today. And it's not because you did it in a few years. It's because you're now an old man, I mean, it just doesn't, if you were trying to give the advice, you could look at how many people on TikTok are wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people who have a big following, but what they're saying is, ridiculous. So
damaging too,
very damaging, can be very damaging.
Yeah.
But I think this is unfortunately one of those issues where it's also a little bit of a nebulous question. Could you write a self-help book? Sure. It's a pretty fluffy question that most of us are going to write one on, but about what?
Yeah.
Narrow that down to a real focus of how to help somebody go beyond just getting an Instagram following or losing weight or meet that perfect person. I mean, come on, at 24 and younger, it's just not going to happen.
thank you for joining Shark and Trey on the Here's How We Get There show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit here'showwegetthere.com. That's here'showwegetthere.com.